Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the course. So today's topic we're going to talk about skimming in academic reading is one of the course in academic reading. In the previous meeting we have talked about the difference between academic reading and reading. Now we are moving on to one of the strategy in academic reading, which is skimming in academic reading. All right. So before stepping onto the course, I would like to offer you the reading materials if you want to if you want to dig more on this topic and this course, or you may go on to this reference. You may access it, and then you may read some of the material are taken from that kind of references. Some are not mentioned in the slide, so you need to read more in order to have a deeper understanding later on. So moving on to the definition first. So what is actually skimming, right? Skimming is a form of a rapid reading for finding the general idea or gist of a passage or a book. In your daily and academic life, you probably skim many things like movie reviews, newspaper article, and passage and website that might be useful for a research paper. And this is one of the valid informations and valid distinguish between skimming and other strategies. If you try to, for example, watch videos and then you skip the video, or you pause it, or you move it faster and then move to a certain point of the movie, for example, that is a skimming, because you basically try to find the things that you are looking for instead of watching the movie as a whole. So this what we call skimming. And the skimming should be started from a question first. Before having a question within ourselves, that skimming is impossible to do. If we're still doing the skimming techniques or strategy without having a question first, then it must be fail. It must be a fail strategy, right? So what are actually the skimming question that need to be addressed in the reader's mind first? The first point is, what is the general meaning? What is the meaning? I mean, is there any general meaning that you're trying to look for? Does this agree with what I already know about the subject? What is actually the writer's opinion on this passage, and will this information be useful to me or not? And there are other questions that probably you may appear and you may think of. It's based on the need of your reading first, right? So when you read a certain article, for example, then if you try to read a certain book, say, so you need to know first what is the general meaning of this book, what is actually the purpose of this book, what is actually the content of this book as a whole, and does this agree to what you already know? Is there any counter to your prior knowledge? Is it rebut your prior knowledge, or is it support your prior knowledge? Is it based on what you feel, or it is not based on what you feel? And then what is the writer's opinion on each point that you try to dig more, right? And will this information be useful to me in the real life, or it is useful, and what is it, and in what case that it will be useful, and in what case that you are going to use that kind of information later on. All right, so this is the techniques, right? The technique of reading or skimming is that your eye should move very quickly as you skim, and should focus only on the word or sentence that will answer your question. Often these are found in the beginning and ending paragraph, and in the first sentence of the other paragraphs. Trying to understand the main idea. So the best place to find it is are in the first of the paragraphs and in the last. Most of the time are in the first paragraph. So if you try to find the meaning of each paragraph, that they mostly put the information in the beginning of the sentence, while there's no close possibility also it will found in the middle or in the last, but it's a rare conditions though. So your eyes, or your what we call your eyes, and then your um, your searching point need to be very quickly based on the keyword sentence that you probably have matched to your designated informations, right? And how to skim, actually there are 8 steps, but it's not rigid, it's not something that you cannot improvise. It's improvisations are very much welcome based on your preference, right? For example, you need to understand what you want to know first, and then read vertically as well as horizontally. So you need to skip from up to down, and then from left to right, for example. And then things like the author. If you are the author of this book, what are trying to convey, for example. So you need to think as well, and then prepare before you start skimming. You need to prepare a few things, right? Like load informations on what the information, what is the things that will be written in the book, for example, and try to detect the main idea in the introductory paragraph. It is important because most of the important informations of the book are given in the first sentence of each paragraph. And then read the first sentence in each paragraph, and then do not necessarily read complete sentence, and then skip sample and proof, because sample and proof is something that we can improvise, right? It's something that we can analyze of. If you can understand the concept without having to understand the example and the proof, for example, then meaning that you can do a skim faster, right? Okay, this is the kinds of text which actually will shows you on what is actually the purpose of the writer in writing the text based on the kind of text. First, if it is a narrative text, the story of Kundang, for example, the story of legends, novel, etc. So it must be started from the orientation, complication, resolution, and reorientation. We are going to have a specific time discussing this kind of text later on, from the first type and then to the next type later on, or even to the last type of the text. We will have a specific time. Now I will show you a glimpse of this kind of the text. First, it has narrative. Second, we have recount text, which its gender structure is mostly based on the it's almost identical to the what we call narrative text. The purpose is to retell something that happened in the past and tell stories of past events, while in the first kind of the text before it's what we call it narrative text, is the purpose is to amuse the reader for entertainment, while for descriptive text is describe a particular person, things, or place in detail. And then for report text is to present information about something as it is, and an explanation is to explain the process involved of the formations of working or of a natural or social cultural phenomenon. And then analytical exposition is to reveal the readers that something is the important case, and then hermeneutical exposition is to persuade the reader that something should or should not be the case or be done. And then and also there is a procedures which is to help a reader to understand the sequence of how to do things up. And then the discussion text to present two ideas with the pros and against in one text. And then review text is to critique and evaluate an art of work, or even for a public audiences that is having a similarity to try to actually enjoy the same art and work, or even then last there is also an anecdote. It's actually to share the others an account of this useful and amusing incidents, and then spoof to tell even with a humorous twist and entertain the readers. And then also there is a news item as a last, which is inform the reader about the event of the day which are considered newsworthy or important, which is mostly found in the what we call it news, right? Newspaper. Okay, I think that is all. Thank you everyone for your coming, for your participation. Please do so the exercise that are listed in Spada, the BG. You may check later on. There are some sort of question to confirm the understanding between to your understanding from these videos. And also there is a survey that you need to check later on to understand that how deep that your understanding on this topic already. Well, I think that is all. Thank you everyone for your participation. So I think that everyone will have a good day, and thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.